Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, October 6th. Tropical storm Nate continues to spin over the Caribbean Sea. It looks like it'll head into the central Gulf of Mexico, probably intensify into hurricane status on Saturday, and then perhaps make landfall around the southeastern part of Louisiana by early Sunday, most likely as a Category 1 or even 2 hurricane. Little chance, if any, that it reaches major hurricane status, but what is a little bit troublesome is that it looks like it'll be in an intensifying mode as it approaches the most likely the southeastern coast of Louisiana. Somewhere near the Louisiana-Mississippi border region is right now looking like the likely area by early Sunday morning before landfall. Once it makes landfall, it looks like it'll kind of shift track a little bit, go to the northeast, produce some heavy rainfall, places like the Tennessee Valley, perhaps even up to the Mid-Atlantic region, the Sunday night, Monday night time frame. Actually, that rain in the interior part of the eastern U.S. will be welcome news, as it's been quite dry, especially in the Mid-Atlantic region, for example, over the past several weeks. So we'll focus in on all the players on the field and, of course, Tropical Storm Nate, which is located right in this region right now. As of the last report at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, tropical storm status, maximum sustained winds 45 miles per hour. It's on a track right now to the north and northwest. That looks like that'll take it right to the eastern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula, right in this region right here. And in fact, let's draw this. Looks like it should head right over the southeastern or eastern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula, and then spill over into the central Gulf of Mexico. It looks like on its way right into this region right about here. Again, that landfall in the Louisiana-Mississippi border region likely to be very early Sunday on its current expected track here and speed to the northwest. Once it makes landfall, it'll tend to make a curve and go more to the north and east, take an inland route, but head on in this direction. And again, it's likely to produce some significant rainfall in much of this region Sunday night, Monday night time frame. Welcome news for much of the eastern U.S., but again, the big worry right now is places like New Orleans and all along the Louisiana-Mississippi coastline here. Again, it looks like it could reach hurricane status on Saturday, Category 1, and may even make landfall as a 2 very early Sunday morning. And we'll talk about all the players now over the next few minutes. Well, here's the latest infrared, colorized infrared satellite imagery loop from the Penn State Ewald Tropical Site. A couple of players on the field here, and they're all important, especially over the next 24 hours or so. First of all, this little area of rotation here with very impressive convective clouds is associated with Tropical Storm Nate. Again, right here we're over the Caribbean Sea. This is the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico. Continues on a north-northwest track, goes right over the tip of eastern Yucatan over the next 12 hours or so, and then it'll spill on into the central part of the Gulf of Mexico. Notice also there's a tropical wave still situated right in this region right here, the central to the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Not a strong wave, but a tropical wave nonetheless, and also very easy to see this particular tropical system here over the Pacific Ocean. Both of these right now, this system right here and the weak wave over the Gulf of Mexico, kind of inhibiting the intensification of Nate right now. Basically 3 different systems here, kind of competing for the energy in the atmosphere. And while these systems, this one right here in the northern Gulf and this one right here over the Pacific, remain in the general vicinity of Nate, it'll inhibit its intensification, and that, I think, will be the case for the next 24 hours or so. After that, however, this system right here basically falls apart. This system continues to move away, so Nate will really have a chance to intensify as it moves over the still very warm waters of the central Gulf of Mexico, warmer than normal for this time of the year. So this system goes away here in the northern Gulf of Mexico. This system moves away. Nate can extract all the energy from the atmosphere, and the fear is that it will indeed intensify over the 24-hour period as it heads towards the Louisiana-Mississippi border region. In other words, it may minimize intensification over the next 24 hours, but then the subsequent 24 hours, all bets are off. It looks like it'll be an intensifying hurricane in those hours before it makes landfall. That's always a worrisome scenario when you have an intensifying storm approaching the land. And again, very well could intensify into a 1, perhaps even a Category 2 by the time it makes landfall very early Sunday morning. Well, let's walk through the 6Z GFS model run, and again, we'll focus in on Nate. The GFS actually has had a pretty good handle on Nate. In fact, in many ways, it beat the Euro in the potential movement towards Louisiana. The Euro initially had the storm heading into the western panhandle, the panhandle region of Florida, whereas GFS started off first in pushing it a little farther to the west, and indeed it looks like the Euro's caught on, and all models tend to agree with landfall somewhere around New Orleans, southeastern Louisiana, the Mississippi-Louisiana border region by early Sunday morning. Let's push ahead in the GFS 6Z model, 6-hour increments right here. We'll see the movement here. Now, here we go. This is now on Saturday, and on Saturday, again, expect some intensification because those other competing tropical waves will be out of the picture. Nate will be all by itself, sitting over very warm waters of the central Gulf of Mexico, warmer than normal for this time of the year. Expect some intensification later tomorrow night, in the hours before landfall. Let's keep moving forward here. And here we go. By tomorrow evening, it's on the doorstep of southeastern Louisiana. Indeed, it looks like it'll make landfall very late Saturday night or very early Sunday morning, however you want to look at it, not too far away from New Orleans. Again, somewhere near the Louisiana-Mississippi border region, probably as a hurricane Category 1, perhaps even a Category 2. Fortunately, there's some these two tropical waves are inhibiting its intensification over the next 24 hours. Otherwise, we would really be concerned about a major Category 3 type hurricane. But again, because of the competition with those two tropical waves over the next 24 hours, it'll be slow to intensify later today and into tonight. But by tomorrow night, it will indeed intensify again, perhaps reaching Category 2 status by the time it makes landfall very early Sunday morning. From that point, it looks like Nate, the remains of Nate, will turn to the northeast, going over northern Alabama, the Tennessee Valley, and again, it looks like it'll ultimately spread some heavy rainfall in the Mid-Atlantic region, again, especially interior regions. It's taking in inland track, but it should spread some heavy rainfall in the interior eastern U.S. Sunday night, Monday night. This forecast map is for Monday morning, and we move ahead. Here we go. It's sitting right over Washington, D.C., or at least in that vicinity, by midday on Monday, spreading some heavy rainfall into the Mid-Atlantic region, and then it finally moves away by late Monday night. So again, likely landfall southeastern Louisiana very early Sunday morning. Then it curves to the north and east, takes an inland track, soaks the interior section of the eastern U.S. all the way up to the northeastern U.S. with some significant rain Sunday night, Monday into Monday night. Let's keep moving forward here. Just one last thing I want to point out here. Notice high pressure. This is by the middle of next week, still situated over southeastern Canada. That's always a red flag. With high pressure still situated over southeastern Canada by the middle of next week, certainly not ready to call off the tropical season after Nate. Let's keep moving forward here. Again, we're moving in 12-hour increments still. Again, strong high pressure later next week sitting over southeastern Canada. We'll just keep moving forward. That high just kind of redevelops here. This is by next weekend. So again, not ready to call off the tropical season in the Atlantic Basin after Nate, given the fact that there will still be many, many days of strong high pressure to the north and east. Always a red flag this time of the year. clockwise flow around high pressure up in this part of the country allows for tropical systems to move from the east to the west and towards the U.S. East Coast. So not ready to write off the tropical season after Nate has a big impact Sunday, Monday time frame. Well, one final map I'd like to show. This is from NOAA's forecasters of the total precipitation amounts over the next 7 days. I like the general pattern here in that it just shows the area inland of some significant rain from the remains of Nate. Once it makes landfall on Sunday, it turns to the north and east, takes that inland track, and produces some heavy rainfall across much of the eastern U.S. Most of this area is very dry in the last few weeks, so a lot of this rainfall will be welcome. Of course, we don't want flooding type rains, but nonetheless, some of this will be welcome news in places like the interior mid-Atlantic where it's been very dry over recent weeks. So again, landfall likely very early Sunday morning somewhere in southeastern Louisiana, likely as a hurricane category status 1 or 2. Then it takes a northeastern track, an interior eastern U.S. track, dumps some heavy rain over the Tennessee Valley and even into the mid-Atlantic in the Sunday night, Monday night time frame. So that's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.